Good evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com. Probably here to cover one of the most surreal episodes of Raw that I've ever witnessed, and that includes the canceled Raw in 2015 due to the non-snowstorm, empty arena at the Performance Center for Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. To watch Stone Cold Steve Austin interact with no crowd was very strange. But we probably have to talk about the most important story, I think. Probably one of the biggest surprises that I think has ever happened to professional wrestling in years and years and years. Like, yes, the news from 2007 with Chris Benoit was stunning, but that was just more of like a personal tragedy thing here. Never has professional wrestling had to deal with something like this before. A global pandemic that is upsetting the stability of nations, of our lives. And wrestling is right now doing its best to navigate that. But it, as much as they wanted to maintain a sense of normalcy in some respects, as much as there are rumors of insurance and, wanting, Florida to make the move instead of them, ultimately around 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, WrestleMania was announced as no longer taking place at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Instead, it will still take place on April 5th, which was absolutely stunning to me. Absolutely stunning. And it will instead take place it will take place at the WWE Performance Center with only essential personnel in attendance. No fans. No WWE fans will witness WrestleMania in person this year. If you had told me last year when I went to WrestleMania 35 in East Rutherford, New Jersey, that I would be part of a crowd that would be the last crowd to see a WrestleMania for at least 2 years, I'd say, what in the world are you talking about? But that's our reality. That's our new reality. These empty Performance Center Raws and SmackDowns and NXTs and pay-per-views, although I don't know how much longer they can go on like this, are our new reality. And I got to tell you, our reality right now is it's a little frightening. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New Jersey. We are just getting bombarded by coronavirus cases. We have two or three confirmed cases in our town here. Victoria will be around momentarily to talk about it. Right now, she is doing her best impression of the Performance Center crowd as she deals with baby Liliana, who just woke herself up. The little baby is teething. Well, before I really get into the WrestleMania discussion, I know Victoria really wanted to be part of the WrestleMania discussion as well. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat room tonight that is with us. This is it's going to be one of the more unique post-Raws that we've ever done. I am sure of it. Let's say hello to everybody. Hayden Barker in the chat room tonight. He asked for the top 3 matches of the night. Jeez. Quentin Walters in the chat room with us tonight. Andrew Elder. We just went up to 52 here in Tennessee and 2 cases local. Yeah, it's getting scary. Kit Dyson in the chat room. Jamel Watson saying these are going to be some weird few months here. Roy Nemmer in the chat room tonight. Roy here. Taker rules. Hey, Roy, buddy. Uncle Billy in the chat room tonight. Billy Hefner. Nafis Sadat, our dear friend Nafis Sadat, is in the chat room. If they impose curfews and restrictions in Florida, can they still do the Performance Center shows? That's a great question. I'll talk about that in a few moments. Mashoon Walls in the chat room with us. Happy 316 day. Yes, happy 316 day to everybody here. And I'm sure I missed somebody here. I think I said hi to Kit Dyson already, but if not, hello, Kit. Oh, wow. Chat's lively tonight. Well, I'll catch everybody up as, Hayden says, still people saying it's just the flu, though. Well, it's not just the flu. The flu, yes, the flu kills a lot more people, but it just doesn't overtake the world like this thing is doing to us. It's just bizarre. It's just what's happening right now is just crazy. And for those that say, I'm going to get my soapbox here real quick because I have a lot of feelings about this because I in my real life, when I'm not doing wrestling, wrestling podcasts and covering the news for wrestling, I'm an educator. I'm a high school teacher. I don't know when we're going back to school. I have no clue. We started our virtual learning, our distance learning today, and it was supposed to end tentatively March 30th. And, there's no guidance from the state. There's no guidance from the federal government. Essentially, we just watched President Donald Trump go on TV and commit suicide right on live TV because he's trying to argue why there's not going to be a national shutdown. And then he goes, oh, well, this thing, it might not be over until July or August or later. It's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? So why are we still letting people out? Can't we curtail this if we just say everybody stays in quarantine? Like the scary part is like, this is like, the level of anxiety out there is very, very reminiscent of September 11th and the aftermath of September 11th for me. And if you were old enough to remember, really, that feeling was just the general, malaise that you were in when that event happened. It just, there's nothing like it at all. And I'm getting those vibes here. But when 9/11 happened, it was terrorists, like other humans that at least you had an enemy to go after. You can't see this. This is a invisible enemy, and anybody could be carrying it. And for those that say, oh, well, and I'm not saying anybody said that here. I'm just saying what, things I've heard. Yesterday I was driving on the avenue and there's a Girl Scout troop selling cookies. It's like, hello, we didn't shut down the schools for you to go on vacation here. For those that say it's okay, this is not a big deal to go out and, just keep living your life like nothing's happening. You're saying it is absolutely okay to put the most vulnerable people of our society at risk. Part of the reason why we shut down the schools is because it's like, I could, let's say last Sunday when I went to Elimination Chamber, I was I was among a lot of people, and this is at the height of this thing. But if you told me at the beginning of last week that I'd be sitting at home for at least the next 2 weeks doing distance learning, I'd be like, no freaking way. It wasn't until like Wednesday when this thing started getting really real. Now, like how things change hourly is insane, but at the same time, when in Philadelphia, don't think it hasn't crossed our minds that we could have been exposed to the coronavirus. Now I go to school, I interact with a kid, I shake hands with a kid, I fist bump a kid, and that kid now, I pass on the virus to him. He's told he's gonna be fine. He's a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, that I fist bumped, high five, whatever. This is like before social distancing was like really crazy. He goes home and gives his grandmother a hug. Grandmother gets sick and dies. Is that on me? That's why we shut down the schools. It's like there's just too much at risk. So for those that just like the idiots that in New York they shut down the bars. So what did the idiots do over the weekend? Because there's no federal guidance, there's no mandate anywhere saying well everybody has to follow suit. The idiots from New York come over to the bars in New Jersey and they all interact and they're sharing bottles. They're just on top of each other, drinking, hooting and hollering like nothing's going on. Crazy. Like they don't care about putting the most vulnerable in our society at risk. And it's people over 60. Not really. Pregnant people with autoimmune diseases, people, anybody with a weakened immune system is susceptible. It's a wild time. With that, we are joined here by the lovely Victoria. Good evening,
Hello.
my dear. My goodness, aren't you looking very red tonight?
Oh, thanks.
Yes. How's Liliana doing?
It's going to be one of those nights, I feel like.
What does that mean?
Well, no, okay, so she's teething, for one. Like, the teething's been bad, as you know.
Yes.
And
I live
then
here.
she hit her head just like 5 minutes ago. So that's another reason why she's crying. And our jerky neighbors upstairs are making a lot of noise. They're moving furniture. I just heard them. I don't know if you heard them just now.
Anything, no.
Maybe with you talking, but I heard like I don't know why you're moving furniture at 11:30 at night here. So
I know. It's crazy.
So maybe one of those nights with me getting up back and forth. So we'll see.
It could be. Well, let's talk WrestleMania, because like I was saying before you came on, if you had told us, like if somebody came up to us last year and said we would be part of the last crowd to see a WrestleMania for at least 2 years, what would you have told them?
Yeah, right. Honestly, when this thing first came about, I was a little naive because, when I started hearing about like coronavirus, it was actually around the time of her surgery. But it was it was only in Asia at that point. So to me, it really I didn't think about it too much. It didn't affect me but I thought it was, and again, just by the nature of what they called it initially, it wasn't initially called the COVID-19 and the coronavirus. I forget what it was called initially, but I thought it specifically attacked like a group of people just because they were in that area. I didn't know that like it could spread or anything like that to that effect. So it's been around for a while, obviously. December, from what we hear, like around Christmas time is when it initially started.
I believe it was called like Wuhan pneumonia.
Something like that. And I think you're right, actually. And then, so I thought it just a specific group of people because of where they were. Like something went on in that area where, it only attacked like that particular group. But then when it started circulating here, it didn't really hit me yet. And I kind of thought about when we went to Elimination Chamber, I'm like, is it smart? Is it a good idea? But then it was really, again, it was only in certain areas. Not a whole lot of information regarding it. So it was like, whatever. And then when I went to Elimination Chamber, I'm like, oh, this is so worth it. Like my doubts and my fears, I'm like, this is so worth it. The show was amazing. And I'm really glad we went. And I'm really glad that we went now, especially with everything that has transpired over these past few days. It happened so fast. We were in a very crowded arena to now, like, you can't even have, the CDC's recommending you don't have a gathering more than 10 people. So it's like, it's just crazy to even think about. And this whole WrestleMania thing, I don't know if you discussed it while I was taking care of Liliana. But
I was trying to save the conversation for us.
But I feel like this is a poor decision. Like, to have WrestleMania, something that people look forward to every year. Like, I kind of like, actually, it's going to sound very bizarre, but I kind of go by years in WrestleManias. Like, how fast things go. Like, I was pregnant last year. Nobody knew on our forum or anything like that. I've only close family and friends knew at that point. But it's just like, I was pregnant. And now, like, a year later, we have our 5-month-old daughter. And to even think that, like, people, like, put their hard work money into this. And for not only for, like, the fans, but, like, the superstars. Somebody like Drew McIntyre, Rhea Ripley, like all those individuals, like they worked so hard in order to get to this point, like to have their WrestleMania moment. And it's like, boom, it's just taken away. And for the fans who who go internationally to come to this, like, right, to the States, it's a shame. It's a real big shame. And I think that it's a huge disservice to, and again, I'm not really sure what the solution is because we don't know the nature of the situation. And I'm not saying that they should have had WrestleMania, but they could have come up with something. I think that I was thinking initially it could be like WrestleMania SummerSlam, like make it like that's your next big event. So give it back to the fans a little bit. I know it doesn't take away from the fact that the people who initially thought they were going on April an opportunity, but like make it an event in SummerSlam, and even like people for the Hall of Fame, have them have their moment. Like it's like,
well, that's not happening. So when they made the announcement tonight, we reported, based
No,
on the statement
yeah.
that WWE sent us, it also said that, all the events of WrestleMania weekend aren't taking place. The only thing that will be taking place is WrestleMania 36. NXT TakeOver, not happening. And the WWE Hall of Fame, not happening. Obviously, Access is not happening.
Of course not. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying those things should be happening. That's not what I'm saying at all. But make your SummerSlam WrestleMania. Like, do something for these people. And again, I know it's in Boston. It's a totally different situation. But from what we were hearing with the reports today, and I hope that it's just extra precaution that they're taking, in the sense of they're saying July, August, that this thing could totally be not wiped out or whatever. But
I'm still going to the beach.
But if that's really the case, where it's July, August, have SummerSlam be WrestleMania 2, and then do a Hall of Fame, do all that stuff. Just because it's really such a letdown for these individuals.
I wonder if I mean, I get that they're trying to maintain a sense of normalcy for their fans by having it. I do believe that there is some deep sense in Vince McMahon that he really wants to have this event to kind of just keep things normal for fans. But when I was watching this show tonight, it was just such a stark reminder that things in the world are not right, and it's going to be bizarre to watch WrestleMania, and it's just going to be another reminder that outside the door is a little scary right now, the way things are going in this country, and we're just at the beginning of this thing. Make no mistake about it. This thing is just at the beginning, and there's a lot more to come. It changes daily. That's the thing that's kind of weird. But I wonder if, because we were watching the show tonight.
Right.
They opened up with one segment. What was it? It was the
Edge.
It was Edge came out and challenged Randy Orton to a last man standing match at WrestleMania, the empty arena WrestleMania, and then they showed the men's Royal Rumble from January. Took about an hour and a half to get through the entire, about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes to get through the entire thing. It ended around 9:30, I think, Eastern Standard Time. And then they went to the AJ Styles Undertaker promo. Actually, it might have ended at 10 o'clock. I can't even remember when it was, but it was just it was on for a while. And it's okay, obviously they did that because they have to follow the guidelines of, at the time, I think down in Florida, it might be 50 people in a building at once. And that includes the crew that has to, put this thing on live and, do the cameras and the lights and the sound and all that stuff. So it limits their roster of who could be there. There's a lot of people that, just weren't on the show. We had one actual match on the show tonight, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. I just wonder, how much longer can they, pull this off? And my thought is they might be forced to, the night after WrestleMania, they'll do Raw. Maybe they'll do an NXT. Maybe the NXT after WrestleMania will be the NXT TakeOver show, or the NXT before WrestleMania could be their NXT show, whatever it is. Do a SmackDown, just do all the shows after WrestleMania. And I think, I don't know how they can continue on like this, doing highlight shows. We don't know how much longer are people going to be allowed to fly out. And are you going to ask your crew, who are independent contractors, to just move down to Florida so you can just keep putting on shows and have them away from their families?
But that's what I'm saying, though. It's to even have
how much longer can you have them flying on coronavirus planes?
But that's what I'm saying. Even to have a WrestleMania is just kind of pointless. I don't think it's going to be the WrestleMania that.
Well, I think they just want to get through WrestleMania, get through the storylines, and then kind of shut this thing down until it kind of blows over, and just keep replaying the best of Raw, best of SmackDown, best of NXT. Because I don't know how many more empty shows they can do.
I don't think they can do many more, and I think that I think it's making it worse by playing these empty arena shows. I really do. I think they should just have kind of like what you were saying, maybe throwbacks. Have your Raws be the best matches of Raw in the past 10 years, and then the past 20 years, or I don't know, and then maybe replay WrestleMania when WrestleMania was supposed to be or something. Because if you are following these guidelines, and I'm confused, is the 10 just New Jersey or is that overall? I thought that was overall.
That was the suggested.
But I have a feeling that's going to be the mandated.
It will it very well could be mandated. Next week they could say, you know what, we're making this a federal mandate. No crowds bigger than
So that
10.
even causes a huge problem, because then you can't have a WrestleMania that's April 5th that's 10 people.
Right.
It's not possible.
Right.
To have a gathering of that nature, unless they plan it strategically where it's like, oh, 5 are here, 5 are here. Like they don't. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just. I feel like there's just actually too much planning involved. I feel like they should just kind of strategize at this point and start fresh once everything kind of, maybe just put everything on a halt until.
Well, the scary thing is that some of these people are going to have to fly in for the show, and what would that say? If somebody gets in the ring with coronavirus.
But can somebody go? And again, I don't know a whole lot about this stuff in terms of what the guidelines are, but are you able to fly like your private jet, or is that even not like?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because somebody like John Cena.
Well, I mean, gosh, like I worry about Vince McMahon getting in a.
No, of course I do too. But I'm saying something like someone like John Cena, like
right
has his own plane,
category.
like he can get a private jet. That's not a big deal.
But
it's
he also has his own private bus. Maybe he could take that. But he's also in Florida. He lives in Florida.
True. So that's not even a.
I don't know. Enough. He says that the gatherings of 50 right now in Seattle, according to their governor.
Okay.
For us, I also believe right now it's 50, but they today.
I feel like they said 10 today, though.
On the coronavirus task force said 10.
Okay.
But they stopped short of mandating anything, and they said, "Oh, it'll blow over," and then in the next breath they said, "Oh, it might not be till July or August, or later." It's like, okay, somebody just put a gun in their mouth and just blew their brains out on TV.
Yeah, I don't know.
You kidding me?
I find actually, you made a very good point just a few moments ago, that watching these shows is really, really scary. Like, it's terrifying. Like, this is I
appreciate what they're doing. I don't want to get it twisted real quick.
Oh, no.
I just want to say how much I admire WWE for what they're doing, and AEW, because they're going to push through and do empty closed set shows for until further notice. I commend them for doing that. It's not easy, and it's to entertain us. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that was clear.
No, of course. I'm not saying I don't commend them either. I'm just saying, like, but it's just a scary reminder of like what transpired. You had Elimination Chamber, wild crowd, crazy crowd, all those people, and now look where we are.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that we went from like one extreme to the next.
I know.
And
now all of our bars and restaurants and our gyms and the movie theaters, they're all closed. Starting at 8:00 tonight, casinos in Atlantic City are shut down. No more.
8 p.m.
You can only do online betting, and there's not much to wager right now. So there's that. It's just bizarre, and like I feel like like we're just living a movie, and I'm waiting for somebody just to kind of like wake me up from this, because it's almost just unfathomable that something like this is happening.
It's to me, this is an ongoing nightmare. I just find myself being so anxious all the time, and just so. And here's the thing with me, just like on a personal level,
I wore a mask and gloves out to the supermarket today. I couldn't risk it.
On a personal level for myself, I just had a baby this year in October.
You did?
And it's like, but it's like you have a newborn, there are restrictions. You're not allowed to leave the house with the baby, that's just kind of like typical norm stuff. But then there's a point where it was cold and flu season. Then it's her surgery. So it's like we have to be careful with that. And then this happens. So I feel like I've already been like quarantined essentially for like 5 months, basically. Like, yeah. I was able to leave the house and go to the grocery store and things like that. But that was like my time to actually get out of the house, was going to the grocery store
Right.
and going shopping or whatever I need to do for myself, running errands. And now that somebody's telling me I can't leave my house, even more so, and then I can't even take my 5-month-old daughter, who's basically only been to
The hospital
and
and
your dad's house. Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
yeah, that's the thing that's like a real bummer for us is when Liliana was born, you know, she started off at the Children's Hospital Philadelphia. You know,
she's a newborn.
She was a newborn, so you don't take the newborn out. You don't take the newborn anywhere because you don't want to get the newborn sick. They don't have an immune system yet.
Right.
Started getting shots, and then now we're building up her immune system. Now it's around Christmas time. We can't bring her out because she's going to have spinal surgery in a month. And then she has the spinal surgery. We have to keep her healthy, otherwise they'll cancel the surgery if she has a bug. Mm-hmm. Now we get through the surgery. Now it's wait a month for, post-surgery and get her healthy, get that wound healed. Mm-hmm. Now we go first week of March, get the all clear. Liliana can finally just be just like any other regular baby. Take her out, bring her to people's houses. We were looking forward to bringing her to Billy Hefner's house and introducing her to him. Mm-hmm. And now the coronavirus, and we don't know when the hell this is over. There are some family members that haven't even met the baby yet. She might be 9-10 months old by the time they meet her, if that. And if you want a clue as to whether this thing is ending anytime soon, all of these sports franchises, they all have the numbers from the CDC. When they canceled our Roman Catholic Sunday Mass, in the diocese, I know a priest who's a very dear friend of mine, sat in on the meetings with the CDC doctors, and the numbers are just staggering, and the projections are just insane. If you want to if you think this is going to be over in 2 weeks, and that they could have had WrestleMania, the Kentucky Derby for the first time since World War II, and this is going to upset our dear friend Darlene very, very much, who's a huge horse racing fan. The Kentucky Derby will not happen. The race is delayed because of the coronavirus, and that's the first Saturday in May. This ain't over. This ain't over, my friends. This is these empty shows, unless they shut down after WrestleMania and they're just and they say, look, we did WrestleMania, and we love you fans, and we're going to be back better than ever this summer. SummerSlam is going to be our big party, and we're just going to do dream matches. We're going to do fantasy matches in Boston, because we know everything's going to be fine by then, or we hope to God that it'll be fine by then. Until then, enjoy some of these classic shows, and we'll see you when we see you. I wonder if that's going to happen.
I think that's the goal. I really do. And I just kind of wish, though, that they said that this isn't WrestleMania on April 5th. It's just going to be a show on April 5th, and we'll give you your WrestleMania moments. Maybe not a WrestleMania, but we'll give you your WrestleMania moments by SummerSlam. That way there's something to look forward to. I just feel like there's nothing to look forward to right now.
Well, yeah, I know it's WrestleMania. I'm glad that we're still gonna get WrestleMania in some form. I know that there's deals with pay-per-view companies and stuff like that they have to meet and stuff, and whatever. But not postponing it until like June or July, which means that they must have numbers that they didn't like. Is amazing, because WrestleMania is the biggest gate of the year by far. Saudi Arabia is probably the biggest payday that they get of the year by far, twice a year. But the biggest live attendance gate is WrestleMania, and they gave it all away to have it at the empty Performance Center. That's astounding to me.
That's what I'm
Absolutely
saying.
astounding.
I don't know.
Totally crazy.
I don't know if it was the right move. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm not saying that maybe it should be.
Hayden Barker said a really nice thing here. He says, the Mike and Victoria show is always something to look forward to.
Oh,
I like that.
Thank you, Hayden.
I like that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like Jamel says, even movies are getting pushed back. Fast and Furious 9, Mulan, James Bond. I was really looking forward to James Bond too, but there's no movie theater to see it in. No movie theaters. But, let's not, dwell on all the negatives tonight. We still have a Raw to talk about.
Not really.
I know. It's not really much of a Raw. It's actually probably the easiest time. I remember Roy said when he was recapping SmackDown, well, damn, this is the easiest SmackDown I've ever had to recap because they showed the entire Elimination Chamber match. It's like that ate up 45 minutes
Again,
or half
yeah,
hour
half
of
hour, yeah.
SmackDown or 45
Yeah.
minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's easy for us, and they're giving away things for free to the people to keep them entertained. Something with a crowd so you can hear some reactions and stuff like that.
I think that is smart, though. Honestly, like to have Royal Rumbles, chamber match, like things, so you are reminded that no, this is still a thing and people still get into it. And smart to get like the bigger matches like that, that did have like genuine big reactions to a lot of the moves and stuff. So
yeah, I know. Well, there, believe it or not, it was weird. It was a really weird, surreal Raw, especially because so much of wrestling depends on
the crowd,
and the reactions of the crowd. And they had Stone Cold Steve Austin on this show tonight, which he is the definition of somebody who just feeds off the live audience, with no crowd tonight. They still, in my opinion, pulled off a passable show, a totally fine show. It was just weird to watch, with no crowd. They showed the Royal Rumble. By the time this is over, they might be showing the 1988 Royal Rumble. It might air for the first time on the USA Network since it aired in 1988 on the USA Network for the first time. To waste some time, but the stuff that they did do, I thought was actually pretty good.
It was, but I have to disagree with you on it being passable. And it's not to say that, again, they have to follow these rules, they have to follow these guidelines, and they're doing the best they can. To me, though, at this point, it's like, I think they should just show either matches in their entirety. I think everything should just have a crowd. I genuinely do.
Well, I know, but they're committed to, live television right now, and they have deals with like responsibilities. They're not a sports franchise, essentially.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is it's just, to me, it's not passable in the sense of it's not.
Well, it's not what you want.
It's not what I want, but it's also it's more than that. It's more than that. Yeah. I'm being honest. I find the whole thing to just be like, it's eerie. I don't like watching it.
Yeah, kind of like a whistling neck by the graveyard.
Yeah,
kind of
I don't like it. Like and it doesn't look like a dress rehearsal to me or anything like that. Like, they're doing the best they can. They're doing a great job. It's not to say that they're not putting.
I think that they got the same reaction they would have gotten in Pittsburgh with a full arena. Pittsburgh is like the worst wrestling town that they have.
Yeah, it would have been something, though. Like,
maybe somebody would have said hell yeah in Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
Byron Saxon did say hell yeah.
I'm being totally honest, though, when I say it. I don't know if I could physically watch this every week. The live empty arena.
Yeah, I know. It's going to get taxing, and that's why I'm thinking that maybe the best solution would be just get through Mania, do the shows after Mania, and then say, hey, you know what? We love you. And we did the best that we could for you. Who knows if they'll even make it to Mania? They could shut the whole entire thing down to say 10 people, and that's it.
Yeah, because I'm saying it's just a creepy. I felt uncomfortable watching it. Like, it gave me so much anxiety looking at that. It really did. As powerful as like Edge is and impactful that Undertaker is, and how amazing Stone Cold Steve Austin is, in the back of my mind, I just could not get past the no crowd. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. For me, I can't.
Somebody said, like, in the in the chat, WrestleMania is starting at 7:00. They said it's going to start at 7, which I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think WrestleMania did start at 7 last year, but it went to like 1 a.m. I can't imagine them doing like a 7-hour show with no crowd there. Like, they're gonna have to like seriously scale back WrestleMania. I think cut out those like undercard matches that nobody wants to see, that nobody cares about.
I think so too.
Because you don't have a crowd that you have to worry about getting up and getting down.
No,
now it's just people watching on TV, so you can cut out like the minutia that you don't need.
It would probably at best maybe 3 hours. at
I hope
best.
I hope they only go 3 or 4 hours tops.
I
You know,
think
if it's over by 11, I think that'd be a triumph.
I think at best it would be 3 hours because you don't have a pre-show anymore. I can't imagine them do like a pre-show.
Roy asked a good question in the chat room. He said, you know, if WWE didn't have the Performance Center, what the heck would they have done?
Good question. They probably
Vince probably would have bought an arena and just did an empty arena.
I think he would have like rented an arena. Like honestly, I really do.
Would have bought like a dilapidated like old high school hockey arena.
Whatever. I have no doubt in my mind. Vince
VFW.
McMahon.
Maybe he can go back to his old roots.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's a. I gotta say, he is a fighter. Like he goes down swinging.
Now Nafis actually makes a good point here. If they do limit it to 10, they could pre-tape the WrestleMania matches and just put them all together. You know, so there's not more than 10 people there at a time to kind of, you know, get that loophole there.
Yeah,
that's actually a great idea. And that's why Nafis, he's a, you know, he's a data scientist. He's no joke.
He's a numbers guy. He knows his stuff. He knows his numbers guy, and he knows his wrestling. So
you know what I should really do, because I mean, like when I ever see my students again, you know, they're always like, oh, you know, you need to bring in like, you know, like the big thing is like having a professional like Skype into your classroom. Like I think it'd be really cool if like Nafis like could Skype into the classroom, talk to the kids about like, you know, data science, data processing, you know, and working at like Mike, you know, like I don't want to say where he works and all that stuff, but I'm sure there's only 2 big companies out there. He works for one of them. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that, Nafis.
I love how you're just booking Nafis for your classroom.
I know.
Now. Like,
actually, we got to book Nafis on the show because, you know, he's living in Seattle or near Seattle. We're here, you know, near New York, and we're the 2 areas that are just getting trashed by this coronavirus.
I know. And Jersey's like numbers are going up.
we should all, you know, get on a podcast and just, you know, kind of like, you know,
I agree.
Gripe about this thing.
I agree.
Gripe about it. Yeah, there's a couple of comments about the Hall of Fame. Yeah, the Hall of Fame is definitely canceled. NXT TakeOver is going to happen in some form, you know, in the next few weeks, and it's going to happen on NXT. You know, that might be the only time that NXT beats AEW Dynamite this year.
I feel so bad for people. Like I know, like everyone makes fun of the Hall of Fame that it's not like a real Hall of Fame and stuff like that, but I feel bad. I really do. Like the Bella Twins, you know, they were going to. Yeah. You know,
Jamel says we should open up the Wrestleview phone lines. That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Maybe it's something we better keep in the mindset for next week.
I think everybody should message us and have all these ideas.
Yeah, you know, maybe we'll put a sign up sheet on Friday. Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, I just feel bad for the people in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But I am very glad that they canceled the Hall of Fame, because you think about like who's going to go in the Hall of Fame. It's like older people, right? You know, like, you know, Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
I worry about
and Brie and Nikki are pregnant. You can't put them on a plane.
I was just talking about them.
I know you said the Bellas, and I said Brie and Nikki are pregnant.
I was talking about how they were pregnant.
I know, I heard you, and I jumped you. Didn't say right.
You're doing that thing again.
I was listening. I'm listening. We were engaged in conversation.
Sure?
I was finishing your sentence. I was listening.
You promise?
What, we were talking about the same topic.
You swear?
Yes, I swear.
Okay.
Jesus. Goodness gracious. Anyway.
No, I'm very grateful that that they were smart enough to be like, oh no, we're not doing this. We're not doing that.
Yeah, they canceled their access signing.
Yeah,
how much money did WWE give back? You know,
I feel
refunding everything.
I feel terrible though. I really do for them, because
I do feel sad. I mean I think he's coming up in the first segment that we're going to talk about from Raw. Edge, a guy like Edge, you know, at least he got the big pop at the Royal Rumble, but you know, the guy, damn it, you know, he retires in April 11th, 2011, I believe it was. Retired from a neck injury. You know, his career was taken away from him, not on his own terms. We thought for years the guy's done. You know, he can't do anything. Then he secretly gets like neck surgery, and then all of a sudden it's like he comes back on the SummerSlam pre-show in Toronto and spears Elias. And then he comes out at the Royal Rumble.
And
Are you
also
kidding me?
too,
And this guy deserves that WrestleMania moment.
Oh my God.
His rivalry is so hot that to me, that's like the main event.
The storyline is so killer that it's like that's what the most disappointing. WrestleMania was going to be an amazing show. Like if it was able to come through, it was going to be an amazing show with all the stuff that they actually have to build up.
I know.
You weren't listening.
I was too
No, you
listening.
weren't.
I was.
No, you weren't. What did I say?
I was reading the chat, okay?
What did I just say?
I was letting you talk, and then I was reading the chat. Yes, I didn't hear what you everything you said. I wish I could have a rewind button.
I'm going to. I'm literally going to hit you later. I was so mad at Mike last week, just so everybody knows.
We're already quarantined. What? Like, we can't be like this. Move on.
No, you're getting punched in the face.
It's
gonna be bad. So what's the chat saying that you had to ignore me?
I was just reading.
No, but
what freaking, Roy was teasing me saying that, at least Charlie Caruso was able to make it to Raw tonight. And then they were saying that we should play some of our greatest hits if Raw goes off the air for a little bit.
Like our greatest hits?
Yeah, like my 24/7 rant. We should actually finally record that rant that you're going to do on Brian Alvarez.
Oh, it's getting deeper each day. Honestly, he really pisses me off. Like the more I listen to him.
Victoria always seems to come across like a YouTube video of Brian Alvarez talking, and she's like, "Listen to this insufferable son of a bitch." I'm like, wow. Man, I hate hearing his voice. All
right, everybody. Well, we're going to
Shut up,
Brian.
I can't be socially distanced enough from that radio show. I swear. I've met Brian Alvarez though. He's actually a really nice guy. Very short.
No, he's not.
He's very short.
He's not a nice guy. He's short, but he's not a nice guy.
He's nice.
No, he's not nice.
His voice isn't as annoying in person.
No,
either.
he's just.
But then again, by the time I met him at StarCast, I was kind of buzzed.
Yeah, that's why he's not a nice guy. It's all pretend.
Yeah.
That's fake.
Yeah.
You're telling lies. Anyways, someone like Edge, who's in a killer storyline and who really, like you said, deserves that WrestleMania moment, but all these individuals, I really feel like WrestleMania was going to be a stacked card and something that was really...
on paper, it was like one of the most interesting WrestleMania cards in a while.
And like Drew McIntyre I was excited for.
Oh, Drew. Yeah. Talk about a guy who, came back from the scrap heap. He was the chosen one. He acknowledged it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he was the chosen one in 2009. Failed in that role.
Yep.
Becomes part of 3MB.
Mm-hmm.
Is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Gets released.
Mm-hmm.
Goes and reinvents himself on the indie scene.
Yep.
Comes back with a vengeance. New ripped body. Looks great. Million. Chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
And he
finally fulfilling that kind of.
He doesn't get to be in front of a crowd during this entire thing, and doing the countdown for the Claymore.
That's why I'm so conflicted. But going back to you're talking about Edge, it's like someone like that is so deserving and so. Like, I wish that for everybody. I wish that everybody who thought they were retired, like somebody like Daniel Bryan and Edge, and like now I'm rooting for Paige to come back.
Yeah.
I just wanted this for them, and like they had a rock solid storyline, and it's just sad. It really just makes me so sad.
I know. Looks like my video froze. I'm just gonna just I'm frozen, so I'm just showing your face for now. I had to fix my apparently like we cut out for like a second.
Are we okay though?
I don't know. Well, I mean, our streams are just overloaded with
Are we breaking the internet?
I don't know if we're breaking the internet.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we're breaking the internet.
Yeah, but my video camera is just totally dead. So
is it just gonna be my face the entire time with your voice?
Yes, it'll just be yeah. I don't know how to turn it back on. I cannot get
say
it.
something. I'll try to lip sync you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Undertaker angle was really good. I really enjoyed that, even though like when lights go out and there's no crowd there, it's like Undertaker just What was that?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
There's very creepy stuff going on right now.
There's something weird going on.
This is very strange.
Okay. We're
All
hearing like noises through the router.
Like,
what the hell's going on?
I don't know. I'm very scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're saying the internet has socially distanced me, which is true. My computer itself is socially distancing
Are
me.
we live still? Or?
Yeah, no, we're live.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we're definitely.
We're live, pal.
Yeah, we're live, pal. We're live.
So you're saying about The Undertaker, you found that to be entertaining?
Yeah, I thought it was good, but like when the lights go out, there's no crowd. It's just like basically the Undertaker just like getting out of the ring and walking behind the guys.
I'm really kind of happy though. Like, and you know, I love the Undertaker's entrance. Like the whole, like everything with it. You know, the whole hoopla that goes with the entire thing.
Right.
But I was happy that he just kind of appeared, and wasn't like they didn't have like a 10-minute like entrance for
he
nobody.
came out. He was all PO'd. He was like
Yeah.
biker taker. You know what?
What's going on right now? Are you gonna sit next to me?
Yep.
Oh my god, this is creepy. Get away from me.
Okay.
I don't know if I can see.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if this is gonna work. Anyway, I no longer have access to the chat unless you want to turn it on here. Anyway, so I thought, my dear,
we're not practicing good social distancing.
No,
right now.
but at this point we're screwed anyway. So, the Undertaker thing was really good. That's another really like surprisingly good angle because I thought when they did the stupid Super Showdown thing that like, oh my god, like they killed this angle before it even got started. You know, it was like so lame. Oh, good, you can see us. Victoria just pulled up the video. Hayden Parker goes, hey, we know the last time what happened last time you two got close.
No,
There's been more time since that. Come on now. Give me a break, man.
no, not really.
Oh, come on. Anyway, Victoria's like going to get a face mask out. But I like how personal they made it. You know, they really turned it around by, you know, kind of breaking that fourth wall there with Michelle McCool and The Undertaker. I thought that was a really, it kind of saved the angle for me.
Again, a very like stellar execution of it, but it's just like it's a shame that it won't be on the main stage.
Right. Yeah, it's yeah, and you wonder like how many WrestleManias Undertaker has left, and to me, this was kind of like this kind of storyline. Even last week, it was like it crossed my mind that are they like building up a retirement angle for Undertaker here, like, or is this, or
Well,
they
not
just,
anymore.
or yeah, I know he's definitely not going out like this. But or are they just saying he's broken down so he can show he's not broken down, do another year of Saudi Arabia matches, and then retire at the or retire at Survivor Series this year?
I would prefer
Because that would be 30 years.
I would prefer that it be at Survivor Series, and just because of the whole story that it like gives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like full circle.
Yeah. It would definitely be full circle. You know, 30 years since he debuted at the show. Originally had Brother Love as his manager. Ted DiBiase brought him in. Brother Love was his manager. And then he went through a phase, you know, where he was Kane the Undertaker, and then they dropped the Kane name, saved that for his brother for later, and Paul Bearer. I think Mr. V's in the chat room. Mr. V, can I get an oh yes?
It's right in my ear.
Well, I didn't ask for my camera to get shut off.
Daniel Shell goes, this is way too creepy. It's kind of creepy.
My Paul Bearer face is actually pretty good. We're like the thing is on delay. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, there's V.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. You know, like a lot of this, like, you know, we were talking about tonight how this show was kind of weird and creepy and made us, you know, feel just kind of like all is not right with the world. Well, they, you know, like it was like, oh, thank you, Mr. V, thank you. Like, you know, throughout the whole entire show, it was like, you know, when are they going to, you know, like just acknowledge that things aren't right, you know, because pretty much like, and I noticed this on SmackDown too. It was just like, oh well, you know, here's the script that we were going to do anyway, and here, you know, let's just do it. Like, there's people here, and it was kind of just like, okay, they're disconnected from like their reality. And here, like when Steve Austin came out, he goes, if you want to hear what 316 Days about, give me a hell yeah. and they just show empty seats, and then he's like, and then he goes, if you want to hear what 316 Days is all about, give me hell yeah. And then all of a sudden Byron Saxton goes, hell yeah. I can't. It's not my fault. Ow, why did you chop me? Why are you doing this?
I don't know.
Byron Saxton, this is
Andrew Elder goes like, this show has become creepy too.
And by the way, I'm definitely gonna use this as the screen grab on the title slide tonight. Just like our one frame, like it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, Byron Saxton probably did the best work that he's ever done in his WWE career tonight, because he was such an idiot. And I always say that the best characters are just the actual person turned up to 11. And I do believe Byron Saxton to be an idiot. And he did a great job portraying himself. Austin was great with him. You know, he was like making fun of his clothes, the Ralph Lauren thing, J. Cole or whatever he said he was. And that, and then, you know, stunning him. Byron took a really great stunner bump tonight. It was so funny. Did you just blink twice?
Yes.
God, come on. Please. Jeez. Well, what did you think of the Austin thing?
I thought it was good, but like I said to you before, it's just really creepy. Like I can't shake the feeling of like they do need to acknowledge it very, very soon. Though they need to acknowledge the fact that there isn't an audience and the fact that didn't AEW do that. Stop. Anyways, I really can't stand you right now.
What did AEW do?
Didn't AEW acknowledge the no crowd?
No, they haven't done a no crowd show yet.
Wait, what show did no crowd and they acknowledged it? Or didn't, or they're advertising
no, they're
no
advertising crowd. No crowd. They said no crowd for the time being.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they do need to acknowledge if they are able to continue and there's not a guideline where it's going, if it's not the 10 people, then they do need to kind of acknowledge it at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's we can't pretend that everything's all good now, you know. So like, you know, like Edge came out and cut his promo. I also find it weird to like be cutting promos in the ring. I feel like like any promo should just be done backstage at this point. Yeah. It's like, why are you out in the ring? Why are you doing your entrance?
Yeah, and you know what too?
It's
like
just weird.
With cutting promos backstage, it will, like, there's no crowd back there normally anyway, so that's a little bit more normal. Do you think they should have like the crowd, like a voiceover, like audio for a crowd?
Well, actually, I saw a suggestion for that tonight. You know, like you could, you know, virtually bring in like a crowd of people, you know, like through like Skype and have them cheering through the thing or whatever. I did see somebody saying like, why don't you just pipe in crowd noise? But then it just gets like, okay, well, this is just stupid. You know, it's like, you know, it's like those TV shows with canned laughter when you know that it's not real laughter. It's like, come on, like, who are you trying to kid? Who are you trying to kid? I know,
but it's just the whole thing. You know, you just gotta feel, because there's really no solution, honestly, to all this. There's really no good solution, because at the end of the day,
they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm. They really can't. You can't blame them. Like, everyone could get upset, and I'm very upset that they're going through with this WrestleMania, just because
I just feel bad for everybody.
Yeah, I just feel bad. It's nothing against like anybody in particular. I'm just happy they finally acknowledged it tonight, because they were promoting all this stuff and then it was like, come on, stop lying or pretending that there's not anything going on in the world.
I know. Yeah, it was very strange. It's a very strange show, and as things go on, we're going to get more information. Things are probably going to change. You know, who knows? You know, like what the next week holds in store for us. And it's only Monday, and so much has changed.
Taker rules. Is that what it says?
That's Roy.
Yes.
It's uncharted territory.
So true.
Exactly. Roy, our dear SmackDown recapper, our wonderful SmackDown recapper, who consistently, and this guy's a young man, good-looking guy. You know, I think there's no secret that he's a good-looking guy. We saw him on Wrestleview Live last week.
You were really creepy
on
with
Elimination
Roy.
Chamber. No, he's a good-looking guy.
You were very, very creepy with Roy last week.
I'm just saying he's a good-looking guy.
It was very strange.
You know, but this is a good-looking guy who gave up his Friday nights to recap SmackDown for us. That's commendable. I think that's admirable.
100%.
He could be, just picking up ladies and,
Wait a minute. Where's this conversation going?
living the good life,
I gotta be honest with you. If this is how you were trying to pick me up years ago, this would never have happened.
I don't even know how it happened anyway.
You're so creepy.
Why are we sitting here?
Because of you. You decided this is a cramp my style.
I'm not cramping your style.
I
am your style. So anyway, I'm gonna move off here because I think we need to bring this puppy in for landing. I am going to be doing a Wrestleview news show with Jerome Weiland tomorrow, where we'll be picking
tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes. Why?
No, I thought it was Saturday.
Well, no, it is on Saturday, but we said that, if there was going to be like big breaking news that we would do a show. We're going to do a show specifically covering the cancellation and relocation of WrestleMania. Oh my God. The cancellation and relocation of WrestleMania. And I really appreciate everybody who reached out and said that they enjoyed our first show. We kind of just dropped that on you without any warning. It's just like me and Jerome have been talking about it back and forth for quite some time, and we just said, what, with all this craziness going on, there's so much news out there. Why don't we just condense it, put it all into one show? And that's what we did. That's what we tried to do on Saturday, and we just dropped it on you, and I'm glad everybody seemed to like it. And so we'll do a Wrestleview news then. If there's more, I'm sure there'll be more news, so we'll have Wrestleview news possibly on Saturday as well. Wrestleview Weekly with Doug Lackey, our wonderful Doug Lackey. He's effervescent, more effervescent than I am. Doug Lackey on Sunday, where he'll be digesting all the craziness going on. And then we'll be back for Post Raw number 75 next week. 75. And these are not the kind of Raws that I thought we'd be covering at number 75.
Man, I can't believe it's 75 already.
I know, and it makes you wonder. I don't know what it makes you wonder.
I am really scared right now.
You're
so creepy.
I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go over my computer so I can stop the stream. But I would like to tell everybody out there, sincerely, in all seriousness, from the bottom of our hearts, stay safe, practice social distancing, be nice to each other, and for God's sake, wash your damn hands. I'm Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco of Wrestleview. Have a great week, everybody, and stay safe. Wash your hands.
Remember, wash these hands.